Morning, Russell.
Morning.
How have you approached this week with the team, sort of psychologically? Because I'm struggling to place this game where it is and in my head about the importance of it and everything else. How have you done that?
I think the importance of it is we'll have a lot of people going up paying a lot of money to travel and to watch the game, and we owe it to them and to ourselves to finish the season as well as we possibly can. It's a great preparation for the playoffs. It'll be a good atmosphere, or maybe it won't if the minute Ipswich score at home to Huddersfield, I don't know. But I think it'll be brilliant preparation for us, and we're getting ready for the two biggest games of our season. But it means this one is so important for that in terms of stuff we want to see on the pitch. We've had some time to work on the training pitch this week, which has been so good because everyone was just exhausted, I think. The energy's been so different this week. We had 10 or 11 games in 32 days or whatever it was. It was relentless. So we've hardly had any time on the training pitch. It's very much been play, recover, get ready for the next one. So to have some time on the training pitch this week has been really brilliant. It's been nice, and the energy's been very different from everyone. So last week was just like the culmination of a lot of things, really. And I think fatigue being the main one. I don't think we've had a schedule as busy as that all season. And it was on the back of a 3-week break as well, so it was an interesting time. And but everyone seems in a good place this week, and they understand the importance of this game in terms of how it prepares us and gets us ready for, as I said, our two biggest games of the season.
Is that then a case of blocking out everything else around it and just trying to take what you want from the match, to get the players to have a pep in the step, or to get players who need time playing and so on? I think anyone with a brain understands you don't want to get any injuries, so you don't want to risk maybe key players. But I guess having lost a few games, you want to lose that feeling and wipe that away and forget that.
Yeah, I don't think that feeling will come into it in the playoffs anyway. But of course, I don't want the players. They don't deserve that with what they've given us this season. I've said to you so many times how grateful I am for what they've given us over the course of the season. They've been amazing, and that's how I feel this week. I'm annoyed and frustrated last week. I'm still annoyed and frustrated at some results during the season, but that's my job to feel like that, and then to not let that have any impact on the preparation for this Sunday, so for this Saturday. So I think we will go there with always the challenge to be the team we want to be, and the players have done that on so many occasions this season, and I really believe they will go to Ellen Road on tomorrow and put that on the pitch and then see where it takes us.
It would be nice to, because I'm starting to get slightly excited about the playoffs now, and it'd be nice for that to be in the squad as well. Everyone's starting to feel about that, because it is exciting, isn't it? We should start being positive about that.
Right, and it is different. So if there's like, I've been in the playoffs a few times as a player, and there's been different approaches to, like, it's just normal season, carry on. It's not. It's about mentality, and it's about real preparation and real understanding of the occasion and being able to handle the occasion. So the last week, I think, dampens how people feel about the season and what the players have done. The long unbeaten run we went on, I feel really proud of the team and the players and what we've done this season. I'd have loved to have finished in the top two, and I'll be eternally frustrated we haven't. But we have an opportunity to get to where we want to get to the Premier League, to do it in our way, playing in our way, which from the start of the season to now is the players have made incredible strides, and their belief in what they're doing is amazing. So if you'd have told me the team would look how it does now, after probably 3/4 of the squad telling me they're going to leave the first day we were here, and the change in style and the change in demands and culture and what we ask of them and how they interact with people and the staff, then I'd be really delighted, probably. The only frustration I have is because some of the points we've dropped throughout the season, of course, but if you'd have said at the start of the season we'd be in this position with 3 games to get to the Premier League, playing in the way the players are playing, with the pride they have in what they're doing, then I would have been probably quite happy and probably a bit surprised.
Yeah. How are the squad fitness wise? You had players on the bench last week like Flanagan and Joe coming back from injuries and working back. Is it cotton wool for some players who make sure they keep getting that repair?
I think some will play, but they just won't play 90 minutes because that'd be madness. We need to get them ready, and some will maybe not play and just get them ready and wrap them up a little bit before the playoffs. So Sekou is out. He's the only one. He felt his adductor. He had a shot with his left foot when he went through, and he felt that, so he'll be out, but he should be back next week. And Big Ross will be on the bench, which is fantastic for us.
How is he then? How is his? What do you want to get out of him being on the bench? In other words, can he get some minutes?
I want him to get on the pitch, yeah, and I want him to be ready for the playoffs. So I think it could be a big boost for us. He's trained brilliantly. He's in a great place. He was chomping at the bit. He was furious with me for not being on the bench on Saturday. So we were in here on Saturday morning, putting him through a big session with the guys, the under-21s guys that hadn't played, and so he was there, and he worked so hard, and he just wanted to be on the bench, and now he has that opportunity, and he'll get on the pitch at some point, all being well, and I'm really looking forward to it.
It's a game against Leeds where actually it's possibly the first game of your season where you're under no pressure. You're not in front of your own fans. You're away. They're going to be looking at what's going on at Portman Road, and it could be an absolute damp squid by about half time.
Yeah.
We don't know, but they're in the uncertain mode, and you can go there and do what you plan to do with the game.
Yeah, I don't know their approach to it, but I don't think you can ever go to Ellen Road and in the Championship as Southampton manager and not be under any pressure, or as a team here not be under any pressure. So, yeah, you feel that pressure every day. That's an absolute privilege to have that. I'm extremely grateful to be in this position and be the person that's able to lead the team out at places like this, and then to take the team into the playoffs. Incredible privilege. So always pressure, and the players will put pressure on themselves to implement the stuff we've worked on in training. We'll put pressure on them to do it, and then they'll feel the pressure of a huge crowd, however that crowd is, and depending on the Ipswich game and all that stuff. But we can't focus on any of that, so the pressure is internal, is our own, and about the stuff we want to see on the pitch, really.
Just finally, I'm a big NFL fan, and of course teams have playbooks, and they hide things in some games because they might play a team later down the line and so on, and you're in that situation. So whether it comes to set pieces, whether it comes to stuff, because you might have to play Leeds again, is there a similar thing you think in our football where you can actually keep things to yourselves until you might need them?
I think there's a bit of, we may try a few things, so there'll be a bit of learning from this game for us, stuff we can take forward, stuff we can't, but ultimately no, I think a team has they have the opportunity to watch 46 games and prepare for you to play against you twice. There's not too much you can hide in that, I don't think we can read. I don't think we can go too far into that. Set plays, possibly. I'll leave that to Gilly and the gang and Colin, and they've done a great job with that since Andreas left. So, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it, and we need to perform.
Thank you.
Honestly, okay. You've already spoken a little about it, but I suppose it's just really refreshing to have a full week of training. How welcome has that been, and what's the focus been?
Yeah, I think on the whole results have been pretty good when we've had time between games. And I just enjoy being on the training pitch with the players. I think when you are playing the way we play and the amount of work it takes to then keep going Saturday, Tuesday for 5-6 weeks, whatever we did, is really tough for them, and to have the energy to keep doing it, and to then keep trying to focus on one thing and then bring that back, and then maybe something else goes a little bit, and then so now this week has been amazing, really good. I love being on the grass with the players. We all do the coaching staff. Everyone's been energised. It's been a good week. It feels lighter this week. Last week felt a bit heavy for sure, but yeah, this week's been good. Everyone feels energised, I think, and we're looking forward to everything that's about to come, and we'll prepare in the best way. And I really think the guys have prepared so well this week, and now they'll have to put it over the line on Saturday.
Adam touched on it a little bit, I think, but I was trying to weigh up in my head what I would do if I was a manager, and thankfully I'm not.
What would you do?
What I was weighing up is, do you try and play the 11 that you think you're going to play next Sunday in the playoff game and get that connection, those autisms, as you might call it, or do you go for something like he said, the pros and cons, maybe rest a few players, but cotton wool around a couple of key players?
Yeah, I think we've weighed it all up. I don't think there's any right or wrong. You make the decision that you think is right at the time, but we have a game to win tomorrow. Is the way I see it. It's really simple. We're going there, as I said, people paying a lot of money to go there and travel, and I got asked about the ticket price a while ago, so that is what it is, but people are paying a lot of money to be there, and it's the last game of the season. I want to finish it well, and the fans deserve that, the players deserve that, so we have a game to win, and of course we have to focus on the big picture, and there's been some big picture thinking this in the last couple of weeks for sure. We've sat there and planned everything as well as we possibly can, but ultimately it comes down to want to win a game, and Leeds is important. It's an important game because we could face them again at some point, and it's important for the players to make sure they go on the pitch with the right intensity, the right courage to put themselves in the team ready for the playoffs. So the team that starts will definitely not be the team that finishes the game. So people will definitely get opportunity, and we'll have to manage a couple of players. But ultimately, we're there to win, and we're there to play in our way. And that has to be the mentality, regardless whether it's the first game, last game, or the playoff final if we get there.
Talk about, I suppose, this month managing the occasion and mentality and things like that. What have been the points in this season where you can sit down and show your players that this is where you did handle it and you come through with bravery, and then I suppose other points where they didn't?
Yeah, Leeds at home was the biggest one. Four defeats, tough period, transfer window closing, people having to get their head round on still being here on Sky, early kick-off. Some big question marks over all of us, and the players were amazing. They were incredible. Well, that's mine, sorry. I was about to hammer someone for their phone ringing. Sorry. Yeah, and then West Brom away as well, after the first defeat in however long, 5 months or whatever it was, to bounce back and do that. So I've got no doubt we have the character and the courage to really be there in big moments. And I think it is about refreshing some of the things that are really important to us in their moments, and showing the players actually some of the amazing things they've done this season. But I think, yeah, we have plenty of character in that dressing room in the big moments to really step up to it. And as I said, this atmosphere at Ellen Road could be a really important one, especially if the result at Ipswich goes in a way maybe people don't expect, and the atmosphere then steps up a notch, or it's a tough place to go and play. I think it's great preparation for what's to come.
I was a bit worried rather than, because you were talking before the press conference about how it's getting going on, do not disturb. It was actually George that gave me the advice.
Sorry, I need that to speak after. I never have it on loud either. I don't know why that is on loud, but
that's all from me. Thank you.
No worries.
Can I just ask you about Stuart Armstrong? Up till the end of the season, you tried a couple of different ways to replace him. How tricky is it to replace someone who is kind of in the midfield? He's the creative hub, isn't he?
Yeah, difficult. Yeah, he's. I think he's been one of the best players in the league. So what he does with the ball for us, takes ball under pressure, creative. So yeah, of course he's a tough guy to replace. So you have to. The dynamic changes a little bit, but we have really capable players. Joe, Will, that have come in. Roffers unfortunately picked up a little injury at Leicester, but it's fine now. But he's a difficult guy to replace in terms of what he brings and the creativity, and he can take the ball and take it under pressure and get the team out of pressure because of the way he carries the ball. So yeah, he's a big loss for us, but it's our job to make sure we find a way to navigate around that. Maybe tomorrow we'll see some stuff that we've worked on to try and help us navigate that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
What did you make of David Brooks when he played in that role? I think before that game a lot of people were sort of suggesting that could be something you tried, and you did try. So how did you kind of think he came through that game?
I think he's not played there before. The team has changed, so he hasn't played with the people on the pitch a lot. So I think he probably didn't enjoy it as much as he could have done. It was a tough game for us as well, the end of a long period. But I know Brooks can play now. He hasn't done it for us. It's very different to what he's been asked to do before, but he's done it in training a few times as well. So I have no problem with putting him in there again. But he has to get in front of guys like Will Smallbone and Joe Aribo first. But yeah, Brooksy can do it. He's a really talented footballer. He's been a bit frustrated over the last week. He's looked a bit tired because he played a lot of games compared to what he's played in the last couple of years. But yeah, he can definitely do it.
You touched on it as well there. You've obviously won the playoffs before with Norwich. So sort of, what are some of your memories of lifting the trophy at Wembley?
Yeah, it's one of the best days of my life for sure, and my family's lives. To be at Wembley and to walk up them steps and lift the trophy is the best way to do it. I've done it in both ways. I got promoted automatically with Norwich to the Premier League, and then did it in the playoffs. And I would take the playoffs, that memory over the other one. Both amazing, but yeah, I think the moment you can give so many people, and that means so much. And I shared it with a few people. Gilly was in the crowd that day. Reece was was drunk by the time he got on the pitch at the end, and yeah, so I think it's an amazing day if you get it, if you win it, and you get there and you do it. And I spoke about that with the players, how much it's meant to me and to my family, and the memories I still have of that day. So yeah, it was beautiful and brilliant, and now I hope to have it again as a manager.
I appreciate they're two very different teams and two very different eras of football, I feel like, but what sort of similarities do you see between your team that you played in that had success and now your team that you're hoping has success this year?
Good question. I wouldn't want to play against our team now, for sure. But we had it was different because we had a group of players that were really. We'd been in a group together for quite a while, and players who were like 26, 27, 28, really in their prime, played hundreds and hundreds of championship games. So very different to the dynamic of our dressing room. We have a lot of young men finding their way, and a few guys in that sort of bracket that are really, but been in the Premier League for a long time as well, so not used to that relentlessness of 46 games, and it's very different. It's very, very different, the Championship, and the mentality is very different to being a team trying to survive in the Premier League to a team trying to fight to win in the Championship every week. So we had players who had been used to that and done that for a long time, and we pretty much kept the group together that went down as well. Mostly because no one wanted us, so not like the guys here who were brilliant and all got taken and were wanted, and fortunately we were able to keep some of them, but it was very different. So there's not a huge amount of similarities I can take from that, but what I can take from that is my experience of being in it, and what I felt required as a player from the manager and from the leaders and from the people organising the stuff around it. So I take all of that into this and I have an understanding of what caused us issues, what was really important. And hopefully we will bring some of that into this. It's definitely been a lot of that in the preparation, the talks, and there's been the wider support staff and what's going to take. So hopefully we can use that to our advantage.
Final one from me. There's a couple of players in the squad as well who've had sort of playoff heartbreak before, David Brooks and James Bree. A lot of people maybe think of that as, oh, they've played in there before, so that's going to help. But is that actually true to have kind of played there before, know what you did wrong, and now kind of
I think you learn from every experience, and actually the ones that you have, the tougher ones, the disappointments, you probably take a bit more from, because when you win and it's nice, you tend not to think too much about it. When you lose, you look back on everything and question everything and try and understand why. So maybe it will help us. I think the biggest thing that will help us is the boys stay brave, regardless of the situation. First leg, second leg, final, hopefully. They stay brave and they stay us and they stay themselves, and that's the biggest test, the toughest test in football, is to be yourself when the pressure's really, really on. It's up to us to give them that, and I'm really sure that they're able to do that, and they will do that. So I'm excited.